Welcome, one and all, to Pacific414 Pop Talk. I am your host, Mike, and tonight I have several articles to talk about. One of the articles related to the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who with David Tennant and Catherine Tate coming back. I also have an article from Bounding into Comics talking about the top 10 villains of Star Wars. The other article I have is about the anime Seven Deadly Sins getting its own spin-off, along with X-Men 97 being hyped up by one of its producers. And honestly, all these articles have to be better than what I just finished watching a little bit of with a couple of friends. And that thing that was starting to give me a headache and making me curse like a sailor was Star Trek Strange New Worlds. What in the hell is that shit? It's exactly that. It's shit. Gosh, I don't understand how that crap could be approved, but you know what? I don't want to talk about it too much. It's already making me angry, and you wouldn't like me when I'm angry. All right, so let's go ahead and share the first article here, and I'm gonna go ahead and get into the anime news. And the first article I have here comes from comicbook.com, and it is talking about My Hero Academia World Heroes finally getting a home video release date. Finally, it came out last year, and we're finally getting word on its release date. And the article says My Hero Academia World Heroes mission confirms US release date for Blu-ray DVD. So before I continue on with the article, I will go ahead and copy the StreamYard link and post it into the chat for anybody who wishes to join me this evening. So let me go ahead, post it and pin it, and we can start reading the article. And just checking one last thing. Okay, here we go. On with the article. So this article, as I said, was from comicbook.com. It's by Nick Valdez. It was actually posted on the 16th. And it says My Hero Academia has finally revealed a release date for the Blu-ray and DVD release of the newest World Heroes Mission movie. The anime franchise had one heck of a year last year, as not only was the fifth season of the series in full swing, but the franchise had launched its third feature film throughout theaters around the world. The new movie challenged Ezekiel Midoriya and the other heroes with a world spanning new mission, taking on a deadly team of terrorists together with other major heroes from other countries around the world. But many fans have been waiting for their chance to see it themselves. The third feature in the film franchise had a successful run through its international territories, but fans who did not get to check it out, myself included, in theaters have been clamoring for a home video release. With Funimation initially releasing the film in theaters, Crunchyroll has announced that it will be launching My Hero Academia World Heroes Missions Blu-ray and DVD release on shelves beginning on August 23rd. And before I continue, let me go ahead and post the link to the article into the chat. It is also included in the description down below for anyone who wants to check it out for themselves. It says Crunchyroll has announced that it will be launching My Hero Academia World Heroes Missions Blu-ray and DVD release on shelves beginning August 23rd. Versions releasing in Walmart and Best Buy will have their own respective exclusives too, and you can check out the Blu-ray itself below. I'm definitely going to check out the movie because I do enjoy My Hero Academia, and I honestly did want to see this movie. Unfortunately, it was not available in my area. So, you know, that's the breaks. You just have to wait for the home video release so you can see it. And let me just do one last thing and I will continue with the article. And again, I do hope everyone is doing well tonight. And Nerdpoil, if you're lurking, listening, how can you watch Strange New Worlds and come away with it with your mind intact? I don't get it, brother. I really don't. But anyways, this article goes on to say, thankfully, it's not too long of a wait for the new movie to hit home media, so fans who missed out won't have to wait for too much longer. As for what to expect from the third film, My Hero Academia World Heroes Mission originally hit theaters last year and is teased as such in My Hero Academia World Heroes Mission. UA high school students Ezekiel Midoriya, Shoto Todoroki, and Kasuki Bakugo face the greatest crisis in My Hero Academia history with only 2 hours to save the world during their internship with the number one pro hero endeavor agency. Deku and his new friend Rhodey find themselves wanted nationwide for a crime they didn't commit. Can Deku and his friends stop Hamarasi's global clan global plans of eliminating all quirks? And what do I think about this news? It's about time. Looking forward to it coming out and looking forward to actually watching it. And honestly, I'll watch it and I'll review it. Just plain and simple. I'm going to watch it and I'm going to review it. In my opinion, My Hero Academia is a very good show. And, the two movies that were released before this one were very good. So that's something I'm looking forward to. And it's always nice to have something to look forward to, in my opinion. So let's go ahead and move on to our next anime related story. I try to do 1 to 2 animated stories for Pop Talk because, as someone who's just getting into anime, I am enjoying it of what I'm finding. I was actually watching the 1983 Google 13 movie the other day, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. That movie's badass, in my opinion. So let's go ahead and move on to the next story. And this next story comes from Bounding in the Comics. And let's get it right there. And then I will go ahead and post the link in the chat. And here we go. And hello, Pops. How are you doing this evening, good sir? Our next article here from Bounding in the Comics comes to us from Nerdgasm Inc. And it says, The Seven Deadly Sins, Four Nights of the Apocalypse. And yes, I always trip over the apocalypse when I try to say it, but I'm going to keep trying to say it until I get it right. Gets greenlit for anime adaptation. In celebration of the 10-year anniversary of Nakaba's Suzuki's Seven Deadly Sins, Nanatsu no Tiazi, an anime adaptation of its sequel series, Four Nights of the Apocalypse, has officially been greenlit. Goes on to say the adaptation was announced in Weekly Shonen Magazine's 24th issue of 2022 in the form of a color spread featured in front of the series' 61st chapter, depicting all four eponymous Knights of the Apocalypse facing off against the original series Seven Deadly Sins. The special announcement declared via machine translation provided by Google Translate that a decision has been made to produce a TV animation of the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. And it goes on to say, following this reveal, the official Four Knights of the Apocalypse Troop Twitter account shared that the anime's first key visual, wherein Percival can be seen standing back to back with Meliodas. The account also shared a message from Suzuki, who shared his excitement at the fact that on the 10th anniversary of the Seven Deadly Sins, an anime adaptation of the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse has been announced. I am very happy about it, and I'm very enthusiastic about writing more, he exclaimed. So it goes on to say, we can't wait to see the chemistry between the characters of the Deadly Sins 16 years later and the young protagonist of the Apocalypse. Please look forward to both the manga and the anime. Very cool, very cool. And Pop says, very blessed. Glad to hear that. And hello, Matt from Channel 66. Good to see you, sir. All right. So the article goes on to say, taking place 16 years after the events of the Seven Deadly Sins, the Four Knights of the Apocalypse finds the former group long disbanded and Arthur Pendragon, the self declared king of chaos, ruling over Camelot. As the series opens, Arthur finds his rule threatened by a prophecy which warns that four individuals, the Epitomus, four knights of the apocalypse, will soon bring him to ruin. Their membership, composed of the typical pillars of starvation or famine, plague, war, and death, the four are also foretold to destroy the entire world through the causing of four unspecified calamities. Given only a vague hint as to the four knights' appearances, the enigmatic shapeshifter of a boy, a child with a wing like green hair, a prince with eyes of holiness and evil, and a woman with golden magic, Arthur proceeds to order his holy knights to seek out and destroy the threats before they can truly pose any danger to his rule. With all four prophesized knights finally united in the series, aforementioned 64th chapter, the group's full roster has been revealed to be composed of the Knight of Death, and the series' main protagonist, Percival, has the ability to wield the rare and overpowered hope magic, a power which taps into his comrades' belief in him to increase his power and allow him to create golems with various abilities. The child with wing like hair has also been seen to wield the rare power of death, which, when he feels lonely and hopeless, grants him the power to suck the life force out of whomever he touches. Goes on to say the Knight of War and former Holy Knight of Leonis, Lancelot, was assigned by King Meliodas to find the four knights of the apocalypse. Disguising himself as a talking pink white fox named Sin to avoid detection by the Knights of Camelot, the half fairy son of Ban and Elaine is eventually revealed to be the enigmatic shapeshifter of a boy foretold in the prophecy. Upon the return from his journey with his master Jericho, Lancelot has been referred to as the Prince of the Lake, based on what Guinevere said in chapter 59. It's likely we'll get, excuse me, we'll get to what this means later in the series. Goes on to say Tristan, the son of King Meliodas and Queen Elizabeth, Tristan fills the role of the group's resident knight of pestilence. And then it goes on to say, possessing both the powers of both demon and goddess races, Tristan has aspired to become a holy knight ever since learning of the seven deadly sins on his 10th birthday. Tristan has the ability to use both demon and goddess powers simultaneously. In chapter 61, Preligrade confirmed that Christian was the prince with the eyes of holiness and evil portion of the prophecy. All right, very cool. And you can see in the design how he takes a little bit from Meliodas and Elizabeth. So that's pretty cool how they combine the two. It goes on to say the prince with eyes of holiness and evil is currently set to star in a two-part movie titled The Seven Deadly Sins Grudge of Edinburgh. Also says featuring an original story by Suzuki, both movies will be streamed by Netflix, with the first part set to release sometime in 2022. It also goes on to say Gawain, and I may not be pronouncing that correctly. I do apologize. A blood relative of the enemy King Arthur and possessing the power to use golden magic, the aptly named Master of the Sun, known as Gawain, is prophesied Knight of Famine. Staying true to the Arthurian lore, Gawain is a complete romantic, and even in the group's first encounter with her attempts to swoon Isidore. I probably said that wrong, and I do apologize. There are going to be mispronunciations when I'm doing these articles, but I'm trying. While Gawain is a gender swap version of her Arthurian counterpart, as of yet, it's unknown whether she's completely a woman or if there's a Rama one half gender switching situation going on. And it goes on to say the studio has yet to announce, but the entire fandom is praying there is a studio change. An animation studio for the series has yet to be announced, but the entire fandom is praying for a studio change from the Seven Deadly Sins last studio, Studio Dean. Are you excited about the Four Nights of the Apocalypse? Well, yeah, why not? And Matt says, I really need to get caught up on this. Yeah, I need to finish watching the Seven Deadly Sins before I jump into this series when it's released. All right. I don't want to jump into this new series not having completed the Seven Deadly Sins. I'm only in season 3 right now. And hold on. Uh, sorry, Chaos. I can't talk right now. I'm doing pop talk. Let me send TKO, also known as Chaos, a message, and I will continue. I just don't want him to think I'm ignoring him. All right. There. He's got the message. If he wants to come on Pop Talk, I will send him the invitation. And, we can talk about the seven deadly sins and we can talk about the previous story I just mentioned about My Hero Academia. Let me just let him know that he can come on. Problem. Never is. I've sent him the invitation. Hopefully, he has time to jump on. But yeah, what do you guys think? It's gonna be another Seven Deadly Sins series, and it's gonna be involving these characters. I'm looking forward to it. I just have to finish the adventures of all of them. So again, I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to finally seeing World Hero missions for myself when that comes out in August. It's gonna be a lot of fun. A lot of anime to watch. And let's see. Matt says, I'm about to start Vampire in the Garden. Just so much good anime coming in the fall to watch. Yeah, that's the thing. There's so much coming. And there's so much that already has been available for years to watch that it's going to take me a while to catch up on everything. Even when I watch Brandon's show on Saturday afternoon, I'm thinking to myself, okay, add that to the list. And I'll get to it as soon as I can. Because, as I was telling Spock from Spock's Friday Nights, I don't want to keep going into one series and another and then another and then another when I haven't finished those other series and having together and mixing up the various series. I don't want to do that. And let's see if they keep the same quality as the first season, this will be good. Yeah. Yeah. And ladies and gentlemen, please welcome at this time Chaos WOTN, also known as TKO from the Digital Department of Defense. Welcome, brother. Hello.
What up? Which are super early morning shifts. So can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Mic check. Oh, okay.
I can hear you now.
I've been a little MIA because I got switched to early morning shift. So I get home, I don't have the high caliber energons that you guys are used to.
You're low on energy.
But I'm back.
All right. Dude, you can't be low on energy.
Bruh, I just saw what you made. How you gonna flex on me like that? Hold the fuck up.
Oh, I made it because I wanted you to have something updated, something fresh.
Okay, all right, my dude. I just came to talk. Go ahead.
Yeah, here. I'll show everybody what we're talking about. Let me go ahead and get the file, and I'll share it. One second. This way, people have a frame of reference as to
what you did to me. I'm talking to Cam. We're talking about doing her, her website. So I go, you know what? I'm gonna see if Mike might have time to help us out. I click on my Discord, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So the other day, I decided, you know what? I'm gonna make TKO an intro, and I had found a song the other day on YouTube, and I just really like the sound of it. I like the beats. I'm thinking this would work. This would work. So I did this. Oops, why did I remove it?
He did a thing.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gonna feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood. It's so sharp, so freezing, so...
Yeah, I just put that together. I watched our past streams and I was looking for various clips and
well, I'm gonna jump off real quick because my lift is here. I will later on tonight, yes, and this has got me fired up now. Okay, holy crap, my energon levels are back.
And
I'm
Matt
a
said it's tight. And I do want to say hello to DJ Ronnie G. How you doing, brother?
I will see you guys in a bit.
All right, brother. And Matt Pops, DJ Ronnie G, if you want to hop in, the link is up above. You're more than welcome to hop on. All right. So let's go ahead and move on to this next story. Let me just click on to it and then properly share it. All right. So, is anybody a fan of Jeff Bridges? Jeff Bridges has been in several movies. He's in, one of my favorite movies.
Okay, sir, you're a Lebowski, I'm a Lebowski. That's terrific.
Well, wait, let me explain something to you. I am not Mr. Lebowski. You're Mr. Lebowski. I'm the dude. So that's what you call me.
And he's also been in Hell or High Water. He was in the remake of True Grit. He was in R.I.P.D. He was also in Tron and Tron Legacy. But Jeff Bridges is going to be in a new movie. And let's see. DJ Ronnie G says, "Good evening, PACIFIC414. I sure will hop on as soon as I get a free hand. Not a problem, brother." All right. So this article comes from Geek Tyrant, and it says Jeff Bridges is a rogue fugitive out for blood in trailer for FX's The Old Man. The Old Man? Wait a minute. He's somebody who I see in Baron's chat. Baron Orman Tog. Speaking of Baron Orman Tog, tonight on Baron After Dark, he is going to have a special guest. A special guest who, doesn't consider himself corporeal. As a matter of fact, he considers himself nerdporeal, or what he likes to call himself, the Admiral.
I shall leave you as you left me, as you left her, marooned for all eternity in the center of a dead planet. Buried alive, buried alive.
Yes, the nerdporeal life form will be on Baron After Dark at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. So please stop on by Baron After Dark and say hello to Baron Orman Tag and the nerdporeal life form. And let's see if this will work. And please also subscribe to both Baron Orman Tag and the nerdporeal life form. I know they would appreciate it. So this article from Geek Tyrant was posted 2 days ago. It's by Joy Parr, and goes on to say FX has dropped the first trailer for its upcoming action thriller series, The Old Man. It stars Jeff Bridges as a former CIA operative who is now a rogue fugitive on the run. He's out for blood, killing anyone who's coming for him. This looks like a great action-packed series, and Bridges is going to give an awesome performance. Some people might say Bridges is getting his own John Wick style story with the film. It says the show is based on the novel by Thomas Perry, and the story centers on Dan Chase, who absconded from the CIA decades ago and has been living off the grid since. When an assassin arrives and tries to kill take Chase out, the old operative learns that to ensure his future, he now must reconcile his past. With Dan Chase flushed out of hiding, the FBI's assistant director for counterintelligence, Harold Harper, is called on to hunt him down because of his complicated past with the rogue fugitive. When Chase proves to be more difficult to apprehend than the authorities expected, a highly trained special ops contractor is sent to pursue him as well. While on the run, Chase rents a room from Zoe McDonald, who draws on reserves she's. Okay, so it's Zoe, not Zoe. Zoe McDonald, who draws on reserves she never knew she had in order to survive the day when she learns the truth about her new tenant. The movie also stars John Lithgow as Harold Harper, Aaliyah Shawkat as Harold's protege, Angela Adams, E.J. Bonilla as CIA agent Raymond Waters, and Kavanga Akanagi as special ops contractor Julian. Amy Brenneman also stars as Zoe McDonald, an ordinary woman who gets dragged into the situation and becomes an unexpected ally to Chase after housing him for a night. The series was developed and written by John Steinberg and Robert Levine, who previously created the Starz series Black Sails. The 2 episodes will debut on June 16th. All right. So let's go ahead and check out this trailer. I probably will be pausing it to try to avoid any copyright claim or copyright strike. So here we go. And real quick, DJ Ronnie G says both good channels and content creators. Yes, they are. So real quick, let me just stop the screen because I don't believe I was sharing the sound. So let's go ahead and share the screen with the sound. And let's take a look at this, shall we?
Hello?
All right, so we're definitely
Hey kid,
up in
it's
the mountains.
me. They found me.
Doug, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. The dogs are fine. Thought I covered the tracks. You and I were not going to be able to talk again. Remember that I love you. That I'll always love you. I'm on a plane to Morocco tomorrow.
What is happening? I want to understand how your world works.
Come with me, I'll tell you everything.
All right.
I know what started all this. This thing's been buried in the ground for 30 years. I wanted it to stay there.
Okay.
This is not something to underestimate.
Any more you send at me, I'm sending back in
All right.
bags. Anyone you send at my kid, send him back in pieces.
What?
There's a villain in every story. Nobody ever sees themselves as playing that role.
You have no idea what I did, who I was.
There's no limit to the damage he'll do, or the things he'll destroy.
It matters to me what happens to you after this. It matters to me whether you make it out alive.
Somebody's got to keep an eye on the world the way he does.
I mean, it doesn't look bad. It looks pretty good.
Know the game the way he does.
What I'm built for is defending things. To me, to defending.
I mean, well, let's face it, it's your typical action thriller. And like I said, it doesn't look bad.
All the best things I've done in my life have been in service of that.
The Old Man. coming to FX. Bring your prune juice. Okay, I know that was uncalled for. I know. Just trying to be funny. Yeah, you're right, Spock. It does look decent. And hello to Spock's Friday Nights. What up? Yeah, it does. And if you want to hop on, brother, go ahead. I'm sure you want to talk about that headache that was the first episode of Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Oh, gosh. Yeah, it is an interesting title, but, you know, it's also going to be available on Hulu, so I might actually check it out. And if you guys want me to give a reaction to it, I will. Because I'm here to try to entertain you all the best I can, but also, talk about stories that maybe other people aren't necessarily talking about as well here on Pop Talk. So, our next story we have here, and let's see. All right, that's good. I was just checking on a couple things. Next story I have here is from comicbookmovie.com, and it's talking about Batman Beyond. I'm sure there are people who, have seen Batman Beyond or heard about Batman Beyond and really enjoyed it. I know I did when it was on. I don't like what they did later on in the Justice League as far as that storyline was concerned, but I like the series Batman Beyond overall. And let's see, Spock is saying currently heading to the store right now, but I'm just on my phone watching. I'll be on stream later if you're still on. Not a problem, brother. Not a problem. So, this article from comicbookmovie.com says Batman Beyond, Terry McGinnis actor Will Freddy shares revival hopes and talks the show's legacy. Batman Beyond remains one of the most popular DC animated TV series of all time, and star Will Friddle. Freddle. Probably will never say it right. Has reflected on the show's legacy while sharing his hopes for a possible revival or live action film. Honestly, you know, keep it in animated form. That works best for it. Goes on to say Batman Beyond ran for 52 episodes and even got a movie, Return of the Joker. Now, over 2 decades since we said goodbye to the series, it remains as popular as ever. The show has garnered a cult following in the years since its conclusion, and Terry McGinnis continues to make an impact in comic books, video games, and merchandise, just not as part of an animated series or movie. It's a little baffling to see the Batman Beyond franchise remain on the shelf when we recently caught up with Teen Titans Go and DC Superhero Girls Mayhem in the multiverse star Will Freddy to discuss his roles as Aquaman and Lex Luthor. We had to ask about his time playing the Cave Crusader. Needless to say, the prolific actor is ready and willing to reprise his role should he get the call. Goes on to say one of the joys of being a voiceover actor is your voice doesn't necessarily age. It does a little bit, but you can be 45 and still play 17 if you can hit the register. It's a character who is important to me. I screwed that up. My bad. It's a character who's so important to me. I would love to do more episodes, Freddie said. And goes on to say, not just because I know the fans would really love to see it, but A, I get to step back into the Cal again, which would be incredible. And B, I'd get to work with Kevin Conroy again. He and I are close friends, and he's such a wonderful actor and someone who was a mentor on the side of the acting industry. Knowing we would get to sit down in the booth together again would be phenomenal. Goes on to say, seeing a live action version would be great. Just seeing the character again is awesome. He had such rich life in the comic book world, and I think he deserves to come back on the screen in some form. At some point in the future, I'm sure he will, he continued. Who knows? But I have to imagine they'll eventually do a movie or another series. But we have continued to hope we'll do more since the day we ended work on The Return of the Joker. So we'd love to make it finally happen. And it goes on to say, it is hard to imagine the Batman Beyond franchise won't return in some form down the line, though we couldn't help but wonder whether Freddie is surprised by the legacy of the show. And it also goes on to say, Will clearly remains as passionate about this world as he was over 20 years ago, and we'd love to see Warner Brothers Animation tell more stories in the Batman Beyond world. Well, yeah, who wouldn't? Again, it's a great show. So who wouldn't want to go back to that particular iteration of Batman and see what Terry McGinnis is up to and perhaps retcon that ending that we saw in Justice League and give Terry McGinnis a proper ending, proper parentage, not what we got, him being the son of Bruce Wayne. I never liked that particular ending. I just felt it undercut the character, to be perfectly honest. But that's my opinion. You know what they say about opinions. There's one thing that they say about opinions.
How many assholes we got on this ship anyhow? Yo! I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
Yep. That's what they say about opinions. So let's go ahead and move on to this next story here. Let's see. Which one do I want to delve into? Kind of want to save that one. Not talk about it yet. All right, let's go ahead and talk about this article related to X-Men 97 and one of the writers, producers hyping it up, and let's go ahead and read this article and see what they had to say. So, this article comes from Geek Tyrant, and this article was posted on Monday. It's also by Joey Parr, as the last article about the old man for FX was, and it says Moonlight writer says Marvel's X-Men 97 animated series is going to be effing awesome. I don't know, that makes me think maybe I should have a red flag, a caution flag anytime a producer overhypes something that, let's be honest. Did we really need a continuation to X-Men 97 or just leave it as it was? Because you can't always capture lightning in the bottle twice. Just my humble opinion. Marvel fans have been pretty excited, excuse me, about the revival of the classic 90s X-Men animated series with X-Men 97. The series serves as a direct continuation of the original series, and it's coming from Bo DeMaio, The Witcher, and The Witcher Nightmare of the Wolf. I've been curious about the series and how it will eventually turn out. I've been hearing a lot of mixed stuff behind the scenes, but according to Moon Knight writer Jeremy Slater, this is a show that fans should be excited for. During a recent interview with CB, Slater, who worked with DeMille on Moon Knight, said Bo DeMille, who's doing X-Men 97, is one of the best writers I have ever worked with in my life. He's an absolute genius. And the other day we had our writers dinner and he was telling me some of the things they have planned for X-Men 97. I can't say a single thing except you guys have no idea how excited you should be for that show. He went on to say that the series is going to be effing awesome. That's all I can say about it. But the stuff he was saying every episode, it was blowing my mind of what he was sort of pitching. So you guys have no idea how excited you should be for that show. And let me go ahead and post the link before I get too far ahead in the article. And here we go. There's the link to the article. Goes on to say, so that sounds cool. That's much different from what I've been hearing about the show, but I like his enthusiasm and I hope he's right. The series brings back original voice cast members Cal Dodd, Wolverine, Lenore Zan as Rogue, George Buza as Beast, Allison Seeley Smith, Storm, Chris Potter, Gambit, Catherine Disher, Jean Grey, Adrian Hugh, Nightcrawler, Christopher Britton, Minister Sinister. Some of the new cast members include Jennifer Hale, Eniwa Bashi, I'm probably saying that wrong, Ray Chase, Matthew Watterson, J.P. Carlick, Holly Chow, Jeff Bennett, and AJ Locasio. X-Men 97 will premiere on Disney Plus sometime in 2023. So here's the thing. My problem, and I'm just gonna come out and say it. Anytime you have somebody, you know, there's somebody in the capacity of, writing the show, producing the show, directing, whatever, saying that the show's going to be effing awesome. I'm sorry. Nowadays, in my opinion, that's a warning flag. That's a warning flag where it's probably not going to be as awesome as they claim it's going to be. And the reason why I say that is anytime you've had, you know, Doctor Who, for example, Star Trek, for example, Star Wars, for example, they come out and say this series is going to be great. You know, they're hyping up Boba Fett, and Boba Fett actually wasn't as great as they were saying it was going to be. As a matter of fact, it was terrible, in my opinion. So, anytime you have a writer, producer, director coming out and saying that this is going to be awesome, this is going to be great, that should tell you right away. Take it with a grain of salt and wait and see what the final product brings you before you start jumping on that bandwagon. I mean, you know, as I said before I started reading this article, I really do feel that they should have just left the 97 animated series alone. But unfortunately, they don't do that anymore. They want to be able to tap into everything that is pre-existing, that has already been established, and put their own little spin on it, and just leave it alone. There are cases where you just have to leave it alone. And I know, I- don't judge before you've seen it, but again, lesson has been learned from what's already happened. We're gonna subvert your expectations. Yeah, okay, I've heard that before. Of course, that's just my opinion, and if you disagree with it, feel free to say so in the comments. I can take it. I'm a big boy. All right. So let's go ahead and move on to our next article. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'm going through this faster than I expected. So let's go ahead and talk about one of the articles that I saw from Bounty in the Comics, and I want to talk about it since we have the time to talk about it. And before we even delve into this article, I do want to welcome to the panel DJ Ronnie G. Welcome, brother.
Hey. Good evening, Pacific. Good evening, anybody in chat. How's it going?
It's going good. Hope your day has been good for you, brother.
Oh, yeah, it was my day off. I got up at, really early to watch Loki's morning show, and then at some point after doing some work on my 3D printer, you gotta fight with the machine, I napped for like 6 hours. It was ridiculous, like 4 hours, and, it's a good nap when you have some dream sleep. I won't get out of the nap until I know I have a dream, and then I'm here now.
Yeah, I mean, I've been there myself. The other day, I decided to take a nap, and you're right. Once you get into that dream sleep, there's nothing like it.
Mm-hmm. So, that's basically it. Other than that, just doing some housekeeping, I got videos I recorded in OBS of my turtles, and it's taken up tons and tons of gigs, so I had to set my computer up to convert them to a smaller format, a smaller file, and man, does it heat up the room. I mean, I had to really, get some cross ventilation in here. But other than that, good day. I wanted to ride my bike during the daytime, but I guess I'll do it after dinner. I'm just right now, I got time to kill before dinner. I'm happy to join, and so what's on the menu right now?
Well, right now I'm actually going to go into one of our next articles, and before I do that, I'll just give you a refresher as to what I've already talked about. There's a new movie coming to Hulu and FX starring Jeff Bridges called The Old Man, where he's a former CIA agent, and he gets into a situation that alerts the authorities to his whereabouts, and they start going after him. Also, the Seven Deadly Sins anime is getting its own spinoff called The Four Knights of the Apocalypse. Also, one of the articles I've already talked about is the release date for My Hero Academia's last movie, World Heroes. That's coming out on August 23rd of this year.
I've never watched My Hero Academia. I'm guessing it must be good if you're mentioning it.
Yeah, it is good. It's currently getting ready to debut its 6th season sometime in the fall, so I'm looking forward to that.
Cool. I see.
And the next article I'm going to bring up here from Bounty in the Comics is actually about Top Gun Maverick. As a matter of fact, before I even continue reading, I need to put it down in the description as well because it's not there right now.
Top Gun, that's an idea.
You two characters want to go to Top Gun? Gosh. And I am going to watch the original Top Gun before I go see Top Gun Maverick. I'm actually looking forward to Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, it's been a while. I've seen Hot Shots more recently than Top Gun, but I played the NES game a dozen times. I can actually accomplish mid-air refueling in Top Gun, but carry on.
Nice.
Is my sound on? I'm sorry. Did my sound just kick in? Okay, there we go. We're good.
I was going to say, I heard it, but it doesn't bother me.
But is the sound is good now, right? I muted it. It shouldn't be picking up the video game now, right?
No, it's not picking up.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to open up Top Gun. I'm testing out something in the background because I have this old Xbox I want to upgrade, and I need to make sure, all the stuff works on it. So, what better excuse to open up Top Gun for Nintendo?
Exactly. I mean, I would spend hours playing the original NES Top Gun. And my dad would get jealous because I would land the aircraft on the aircraft carrier and he would always crash it.
Dude, I mean, it's a pain in the butt. Like, I thought I was good at it, and then, like, last year I went to play it thinking, oh, yeah, I'm an ace. And it took me a little bit, there was a hell of a learning curve to that. It wasn't like riding a bike, you know? It took a little bit of effort to get back on the old horse.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't tried it recently, so I probably shouldn't be that cocky thinking I could land the plane, but who knows? I might fire it up one of these days and see if I can still do it.
Yeah, you know, worst case scenario, blame the gamepad.
Yep. Go, oh, stupid game.
You know, like I have the NES Advantage gamepad. I think I tried it with that and did pretty good. You know, I at the time I was younger. The logic was, well, it's like a joystick, so you know it should be better suited to you know, flying a jet fighter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that really, you know, panned out, but you know, it made it more immersive.
Well,
so you know, they got the second Top Gun movie coming out, and I remember the first one wasn't bad. You know, like aside from Tom Cruise, right? Tom Cruise was in it.
Yes, Tom Cruise, and then you had Val Kilmer and Anthony Edwards, Meg Ryan, Kelly McGinnis was in it, and James Tolkien. You know, people will recognize him from either Top Gun or as Mr. Strickland from Back to the Future. He was also in Masters of the Universe.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
This article from Bounty in the Comics says Top Gun Maverick producer becomes living consume product. Get excited about next product meme. Now, I'm going to make something perfectly clear here. I've wanted to see Top Gun Maverick for the last 2 years, like a lot of other people. And I'm going to see it for one specific reason. I'm going to see it because my late mother wanted to see it. So I'm going to go see it for her. And I'm going to judge the movie for myself. I'm not going to let someone else dictate, you know, oh, this movie's great. Oh, this movie's terrible. No, I'm going to go see it for myself in honor of my late mother, and I'm going to make a determination whether I like it or not.
Sounds like a good plan to me. I mean, you know, a good way to respect her memory, and I'm sure she had good taste in movies, so, you know, might as well give it a shot.
Yeah, one of her favorite movies growing up as a kid was Yankee Doodle Dandy.
Yankee Doodle Dandy. I don't think I've ever seen that one.
And another one that, you know, she and I could watch together or separately. As a matter of fact, there was one time I was doing stuff for her around the house, and then all of a sudden I just heard one line, bang, 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 bang. I said, are you watching Tombstone? And she's all, how the hell do you know I'm watching Tombstone by that kid going bang, 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 bang? I said, I recognize the scene.
Yeah.
And okay, maybe I've watched the movie one too many times.
Mm-hmm. I have a few movies like that. If I could count how many times I saw Star Trek 4, I couldn't count it.
Well, I mean, the first time I saw Star Trek 4 was back in elementary school.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the 4th grade, and, you know, my teacher decided, you know what, we're having a movie day today. So the movie she popped in was Star Trek 4. That was actually the first of the movies that I'd actually seen. And
interesting.
I loved it.
Yeah,
then,
no, I mean, it was a good time. I mean, you know, there was just something about it. I mean, it was a lighthearted movie, and, you know, even non-Trek fans seen that movie and, you know, enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
And as a kid, like, I watched it like 3 times in one weekend once. So, I don't know, something about that movie really resonated with me, or something I guess I just enjoyed it. Like, it's a mix of Star Trek with things that are funny, you know? I mean, can't go wrong.
No, you can't. I mean, it had humor, and it was done well. And there was a legitimate reason as to why they were going back into the past. They weren't just going back to the past for going back into the past's sake.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. You know, I mean, they had a pretty good reason. It was interesting. You know, people could crack jokes about it today, but you know, like the idea that okay, you have this whale probe and you need to like, you know, tell it to go away. I mean, what if the whale is communicated to the probe? Oh no, these guys are assholes. Wreck their planet. You know, they don't know how to take care of it. You know, I mean, luckily not, but I mean, now I'm overthinking it a little bit, I admit.
Oh no, I've thought the same thing. What if the whales said, "Yeah, nuke these guys"?
Yeah, vaporize their ocean. Just keep it.
But yeah, getting on with the story, it says Jerry Bruckheimer, the producer of Top Gun Maverick, became the living embodiment of the consume product meme while promoting the upcoming film. Goes on to say, for those unfamiliar with the meme, Know Your Meme explains it gained popularity after Red Letter Media host Jay Ballman responded to co-host Rich Evans questioning the casting of Ben Affleck playing Joker after recently playing Batman. Ballman told Evans, "Don't ask questions, just consume product and then get excited for the next product." Yeah, I've seen this from Red Letter Media. And, you know, that is what they're doing. They're saying, no, this is the new Star Trek spin-up. This, you know, the new Doctor Who, you know, episode with the new Doctor. This is Star Wars now. Consume it. Like it. Don't say anything bad about it. Don't challenge it. You know, as I've said before, and you've seen the videos, I'm a Cub fan. Yeah, there are times where I enjoy it because they're winning. You know, they've won 4 in a row right now, so I'm enjoying it for the moment. But when I see them make stupid, dumb mistakes, I'm going to call them out on those stupid, dumb mistakes. Whether it's the guys on the field or the guys in the office, I'm going to call them out.
Mm-hmm. You know, you don't have any obligation to the fandom or the team if they're not doing things the way that, you know, if they're not doing things, that, you know, if they're not doing a good job at what they do. I mean, like, it's okay to take a new direction. It's okay to experiment, but, you know, nobody's beyond reproach. And, you know, that criticism is supposed to be, you know, even if it's harsh on some people's ears, it is designed to be constructive. I mean, if 100,000 fans of the Cubs, you know, have an issue with something, that is something that the manager listens to. And I'm pretty sure in baseball, they act upon it because, you know, they have a lot of money riding on it. And, you know, although fans might be loyal to their hometown, there are times where you could push them. Although Mets fans, they could take a lot.
Yeah, and that's also the thing, too. There are, you know, franchises, whether it be in baseball or any other sport, where ownership doesn't really care what product they put on field as long as they still make some kind of profit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at the Pittsburgh Pirates, for example. They haven't really been a legitimate playoff contender since, you know, 14 and 15. And, you know, they had that small window and then it closed as quickly as it opened. But
this is true.
That's the nature of sports. That's the nature of entertainment too. You know, you have this small window to grab the fans' attention, and if you don't grab the fans' attention at that time, you're pretty much screwing yourself. Oh my god, we have an admiral in the chat. An admiral who will be on Baron After Dark with Baron Norman Tag tonight at 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Eastern.
9 o'clock Central, 10 Eastern. Okay, good. I got an hour.
Yes.
I always hate missing Baron's show. You know, like I'm like, damn, I missed it, and then I'll watch it. You know, I'll watch the the recorded copy. But you know, it's always a better experience to watch it live, and you know, just say hi to everyone, and you know. But you know, it's always a good time. So I'm looking forward to Notorio's appearance.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over there, you know, to support both of them, and also because I like Baron. He's a cool dude.
Mm-hmm.
He's very knowledgeable. Yeah. he keeps joking with me. He says, "I don't know why you keep asking me back, Mike." It's like, I like it, dude. You add flavor to the panel, so. And besides, there needs to be somebody smarter than me on the panel.
I mean, like, you know, where our knowledge on whatever we're talking about falls short, it's actually a real good asset to have somebody who can add value like that. And yeah, you know, he does it in a cool way. You know, it's not like he's not condescending about it. You know, and he drops that knowledge. You know, he'll have like the books to back it up. You know, and all of that jazz.
And let's see, Nerporo says, I hear DJ Ronnie G. Did he discover a new planet?
I did.
And you're right, Brian. Baron is underrated. Baron does great work on his channel. Baron's a great guy, especially since I've gotten to know him. The first time I actually met him was on a Doomcock member stream.
Interesting.
Yeah. But I never really got a chance to talk to him. It wasn't until he actually came on my channel that we actually got to converse a little more.
Yeah.
And people should. They should check out Baron's channel. They should check out Nerd's channel. They should check out your channel. They should check out every channel that I'm retweeting about, because all those folks that I'm retweeting about when they're streaming and saying, you know, so-and-so's live with so-and-so, you know, so-and-so's talking about this, it's because it's worth your time. It's worth your time, even if you can't necessarily watch, you know, these YouTubers. Watch their content. Listen to their content. It's worth the time. Watch Pops. And speaking of Pops, welcome, Pops.
How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well.
So happy to finally be streaming with you. I feel like we've been ships passing in the night, many a moon, many a streams, and I finally had a few minutes here. I can hop in and at least get a chance to chat with you, my friend. Love the content, love your hard work. It's always good stuff.
I appreciate that, sir.
Awesome. So, what's going on? I got this top 10 stuff going on right here above my head. This is good stuff.
Yeah. Well, this article I have here from Bound into Comics is talking about Jerry Bruckheimer becoming the latest living embodiment of the meme while promoting Top Gun Maverick with the United Kingdom's The Times. And as I've said before, I'm looking forward to seeing this movie. I'm going to go see it in honor of my late mother, who wanted to see it when it was supposed to come out 2 years ago, and unfortunately with everything that happened, it's been delayed, and we're finally getting it this year. But
right, yeah, this is going to be a really interesting litmus test to see how the nostalgia stuff will work for something like this, where Top Gun has a very big sort of cult following. Cruise is known for not really being into the woke culture of things and really tolerating a lot of that kind of stuff. So it'll be really interesting to see how this film does. I'm really, you know, that's going to be a great thing for us to check out. So, and I definitely agree with what Nerd probably should be up in here with us, man. Let's have some fun.
Yeah.
Let's party this. Let's talk some stuff, man. Get up in here, man. Baron is way underrated.
Hop in here before you go on to Baron's stream.
Yeah, man. Come on. Let's get it all up in here. Let's do this, and then we'll all go to Baron's stream.
Yeah. That's the plan. That's the plan.
I can't stay away too long. I have to keep the day job going, so I won't be able to do too long. But I'll do a little bit. What else?
All right.
You went past my X-Men store. I couldn't get on. I was still eating my dinner, and that X-Men stuff. I'm with you, man. That's some sketchy back and forth red flags for me.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, we've seen it too many times already, and I'm not ready to jump into a series continuation knowing what's happened before with a series continuation. I'm looking at you, Picard.
Well, not just, it's everything, right? I've been doing this hate watching of Halo with Loki and Ironcaster, and it's just brutal how it's basically Halo in name only. But there was a presser that wasn't in the one that you read. I swore, I think 540 read it to me, and we were on their show. And it may have been Slater, may have been the same person, but they made a reference to being brought to modern times or something. And that was my big red flag. Anytime they use modern times or whatever, it's just code for being woke. Polio, I look for you getting it early. If you get it screened that soon, then we can get an early update on what's going on with that, man. That's good for you, man. I'm not gonna. I have stream set up, so I won't be able to actually see that movie until a little bit later on. So yeah, you got to hit us up with what the skinny is on the Maverick.
Definitely.
I want to rewatch the original one too, so I'm with you on that as well.
Yeah, I was actually talking with Captain Trek when he was on my stream a couple months ago, and I was telling him a couple of ideas I had, and how I was looking forward to Top Gun Maverick, and he asked me if I was considering doing a comparison between the original and Maverick when it comes out, and I was thinking, not initially, but then the more I thought about it, I'm thinking maybe I should watch the original before I watch Top Gun Maverick, and then try to do a comparison of shot for shot what they brought from the original and incorporate it into Maverick, and also what they do differently.
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how they can, because Top Gun itself was like this cultural phenomenon, because it was this blend between the stuff that the guys like with all the jets and the dogfights and the music, and then the ladies like the romance story and getting the bad boy on the motorcycle and all that. So it was really this perfect blend and this nice cultural phenomenon. I don't know that we're going to see that, but like I said, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. I don't know. It really is. I really wish I had a take. I don't.
Yeah, and I've told this story before on Pop Talk. I've even told it to friends. My mom and dad went and saw Top Gun, and while they were watching Top Gun and having a good time, I went and saw Transformers the movie. So after seeing Transformers the movie, I had to wait for Top Gun to finish. And they come out of the movie, they're all smiles and happy, they're laughing, they're going, that was a good movie. Meanwhile, I'm sitting there on the bench at the movie theater, there are tears in my eyes, and they're all, Michael, what's wrong? I said, Optimus Prime died.
Devastating, wasn't it? Just devastating.
For an 8-year-old, it was devastating because he was a hero to many kids.
Yeah, it was. That was a really. It's the same thing. I mean, it leaked out when Spock sacrifices himself in Wrath of Khan, but I don't remember Optimus Prime's death leaking out. I don't remember knowing that ahead of time. So it was a very big shock, big punch to the belly, man. That was a huge one for me. The Spock one, I think I knew when I went into it, because my mom was a huge Trekkie, and she's the one that took me to see it. And, that was like still an emotional, just shock. But it was, I think Optimus Prime might have been worse in a lot of ways.
Well, depending on your age too, you're growing up and you're seeing these characters. One's an animated character, one's a live action character, and you get attached to these characters.
I couldn't agree more. And I just didn't believe it. I just didn't think it was legit. I'm just waiting, right? This is like, he's not really dead, right? Like, that's not the end of the story, right? There's more. And even when the movie's over, you're like, well, there's still more, right? There's another one, right? I don't remember how Spock's death leaked out, but it did. Like, my mom knew ahead of time. She was crying. So we watched Trek every single day. Trek was on every single night, Monday through Friday. We had our cartoons after school, whatever, but Trek would be on. And I don't remember how it leaked out with Wrath of Khan, but it did. And she knew it. She was crying. And we went to go see it right away. And yeah, she was not a happy camper. That was for sure. And it was like, I was just a little kid. So I was like 11. And of course, back then you didn't really quite have the scope of course, they're not going to let him be dead. They're going to come up with some sort of skinny to bring him back. They got to make their money. So, yeah, the journeys. I don't remember seeing Top Gun. I was with friends. I don't remember anything special about seeing the theater. I do remember seeing it in the theater. So, It's good.
Yeah, I didn't see it until it actually came out on home video, and my parents bought it, and we're watching it. I'm going, this is a good movie. And I'm thinking in the back of my mind, I should have gone to see this with mom and dad instead of Transformers.
Yep. Is there anything else you're looking forward to see? I really wish I had caught, and I know it's being re-released limitedly. There's this foreign film called RRR. Chris Gore's been promoting it like crazy, and they got a limited release June 1st, and I cannot find it screening in my area, so I don't know what I'm going to do. I may just have to bite the bullet and wait, but for how someone of his caliber promote something as much as he has, it may be pretty decent. So I don't know if anybody gets a chance to see that, or if you've already seen it, let me know, because it has been through some runs. They just keep putting it back through. It's like it's made a ton of money. I think it's an Indian film. It's made a ton of money. It's a big action kind of film. I don't know. We'll see.
I haven't seen anything about it coming to my area, but I'll keep an eye out for it just in case. And if I have to, I'll wait. All right, so this article says, when asked about the film's controversy surrounding Maverick's jacket replacing both Japanese flags and Taiwanese flags, Bruckheimer responded, just enjoy the movie. Yeah.
Good for him. Don't even get involved. I mean, I know they're making these decisions on purpose. I got it. Everybody knows they are, but don't even acknowledge it. They are only going to make it worse if they speak about it.
That's true.
They shouldn't concede, number one. But if they are going to concede, then just do what you got to do. You don't even talk about it, because you're just going to make it worse. If you start trying to appease China and America, you're going to be wrong. And then whoever's mad when you try to explain or talk about it, you're just going to make it worse. So just stop. Just stop. So that's my take on it. I don't even know. I mean, I'm not the one got millions of dollars at risk here like these companies do, but it's no surprise that they have to concede and make some concessions with some of this stuff. And Paramount is not in a position to be taking a bunch of financial hits, so they need Top Gun Maverick to do well. They are not in a financial scrape. They're teetering. I think everybody's teetering right now. Everything is unstable at the moment.
Yeah, and a lot of that has to do with the product that we're being given right now.
Yeah, it's crap. I didn't get to record. I need to edit a clip. I did a little brief rant with Loki and Ironcaster after Halo. Have you watched on Paramount? They have a show called The Offer. It's basically about how The Godfather got made.
I've heard about it, and even hearing about it, I'm thinking, is that enough to get me to sign up for Paramount Plus just to watch that?
Well, I won't say that, because I don't want to tell anybody what to do with their actual cash. But if you find a way to see it, I'm just saying it's really, really good. I'm shocked. It's so good. And it's good in a lot of ways. Like, so Miles Teller stars as Al Ruddy, who's the producer of The Godfather. They have a great cast that, Mario Puzo and Francis Ford Coppola, about how they're going to pull all this off. And it pulls up all of the shenanigans. Yeah, bro, trust me. Yeah. Anyway, so the long story short is, I can highly recommend this show. I'm about like 5 episodes in, and I can highly recommend the show.
Okay.
But I tell you what, man, it ticks me off because it shows they can make good stuff. It shows that when they care about something, they can make good stuff. So they care so little about your Trek and Halo and all this other stuff. They don't put any good creative power behind it. But they can when they want to.
Yeah.
As they said in Johnny Dangerously, a bunch of Fargan bastages.
I haven't watched that movie in a while.
You gotta have a physical copy of that one, bro. That one is not. They don't want you having that one. That was a hard one to find. So, yeah. So you're all in on Maverick. I'm in on Maverick. I just won't be able to see it right away. But I'm interested to see what everybody thinks about it.
No, I won't be able to see it right away. I'll probably have to wait a week after it comes out to actually go see it.
Yeah.
So the article continues by saying, he added, "We make movies that entertain people. Don't worry about all that stuff." And it goes on to say the jacket has been changed in Top Gun Maverick with not only the removal of both the Japanese and Taiwanese flags, but
Aw.
also the removal of the Far East Cruise 63-4 above the flags and USS Galveston below the flags. The original patch commemorated a real-life U.S. battleship's tour of Japan, Taiwan, and the Western Pacific, reported military.com. Instead, the jacket now reads Indian Ocean Cruise 8586 above the flags and United States Navy below the flags. It's unclear what the patches are that replace the Japanese and Taiwanese flags. Ironically, earlier in the interview, Bruckheimer admitted that he makes movies so as not to offend any potential movie markets. He said, "You don't want to shut off markets. When you make an expensive movie, you want to give the studio the best opportunity to make money. It has got harder. You have to figure out a way to create a villain who is multinational or doesn't have a home." Goes on to say the film's writer Christopher McQuarrie previously claimed that Maverick's bomber jacket was the biggest creative challenge for the film's star Tom Cruise. He told Empire the biggest thing was the jacket. Tom was really struggling with the jacket. He explained the jacket was a huge deal to a lot of people. Everybody was saying it's a big part of who Maverick is. I thought I could barely describe the jacket. It's Indiana Jones hat. It's not Superman's cape. It's an aviator's jacket.
I kind of agree with that. I don't. I mean, it's yeah. I mean, people that are really into the movie are really into the jacket. Yeah, that would be. I can see them debating that a little bit, and I agree with what Pat Wannabe said there about Cruise was pretty hardcore about him following some of the pandemic restrictions, so the movie didn't get shut down. That actually did leak out. He's hardcore about that. It's like, listen, this is nuts. He went through it. I think this happened actually in the middle of 2020 with him. He went nuts about, no, we're not. You guys got to button this up.
Yeah, I think that happened during the filming of Mission Impossible 7.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. Yeah, I don't remember exactly if it was this or that one, but yeah, that's another reason why I think that he's been pretty vocal, and he has sort of like, I don't know. I think he's just in that category of FU money. He's like, listen, I'm above all this nonsense. You can try to say what you want to say about me or whatever. No, I'm good. I'm good. So no, we're not doing this. We're not doing that. So yeah, good. Well, we'll see.
Yeah, he wouldn't come back to Top Gun if he didn't care about it.
Correct. Does the jacket thing bother you?
I can't say it does. I mean, the jacket from the first movie could represent, one part of Maverick's life, and the jacket we see in this movie could represent the next part of his life after the events of the first movie.
Yeah, true. Like I said, I'm mixed on it. I don't know.
I guess I'll just have to watch the movie and see if that really makes an impact, or if I just view it as, it's a jacket. It doesn't really take away from the story that they're telling in the movie.
Right. I agree.
So this article says Cruise, who reprises his role as Maverick, claimed he didn't want the jacket to return. I was like, this is ridiculous. I'm not going to wear this. However, he also noted it was part of the legacy of the first one. How do you know what to leave out and what to add in? Well, that is true.
Well, his character is supposed to be older too, right? It's supposed to follow a normal timeline. So, like, I wouldn't really want to put on my bomber jacket that I had when I was in my 20s. It'd feel weird. Now, I could put that in the story where someone can make a comment about the jacket, and I'd be like, well, yeah, but this jacket's been through a lot. Well, look at this patch already. Yeah. These patches have been changed and whatever. But, you can almost like tie it in to let people have permission to like and hate it accordingly.
Mm-hmm. And the article continues to say, as for exactly why the jacket returns, Cruise explained, we finally figured out how to put it in. It's a lucky jacket.
Yeah. You can see that.
All right. McCrary.
Mm-hmm. That's a nice retro photo right there. Yeah.
Yeah. Very nice. McCrary elaborated. Now we have him open a closet and go into the back and pull the thing out and wear it for a special occasion. I said to Tom, "You wear the jacket. The jacket doesn't wear you. Maverick is still a Maverick, but he's not stuck in the past."
It just seems like everything that comes out about this film, they have all the right responses. Like their heads all in the right places. So we just don't see this enough. It just makes me want to support it, even if I was just not even a fan of the movie. And I'm not going to pretend that I'm some big fan of the original movie, but I'm a fan enough. But they say all the right things. It's like these are the kind of movies that we want to support if it's just not woke and full of all this crap. So yeah, I agree with that too. It could just be a background thing, but he'll put it on at least once. He has to put it on at least once.
Yeah, at least once to satisfy the fans who wanted to see him put it on. And for the rest of the movie, well, let's see how it plays out.
Yeah.
Let's see what this whole story involves. And it's going to be interesting to see how they use Val Kilmer as Iceman. I know from an article I had seen, this was several weeks back now, that they use sound bites from Val Kilmer in different movies to fill in the dialogue.
Yep. It's going to be a really kind of an emotional thing to experience. I don't know about you, but I don't always handle those things well. Like even the de-aging CGI, Carrie Fisher, things like that. It's just there's some of those are hard to handle. Some of them are fine. So I don't know. Yeah, we'll see.
Well, we just have to wait.
Yep.
Each and every one of us, when we go to see the movie, we're going to have a different reaction to it. We're not all going to come out of the movie theaters thinking the same thing or even saying the same thing about the movie. We're all going to, have our own take on it.
Yeah, certainly.
I could come out of the movie and say, "Oh, this movie's a 10 out of 10 movie." And someone else could say, "Oh, I thought that movie was 2.5 out of 10."
Well, I can almost assure you, because I'm too rough of a critic, that it will never be a 10. But it's okay. There's so few 10s that ever get made for me. But I can respect people who want to have that kind of scale. But for me, I guess no way it'll be a 10. There's like a handful of 10s ever in the history of film. So 10s handed around too easily, in my opinion. Just like I think 0s or 1s are. They're handed around almost too liberally. It's just an emotional reaction than a critical one.
I mean, speaking of emotional reactions.
Oh, no.
On June 2nd, I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to be watching the Orville, and all I'm going to have is a big smile on my face.
Mm-hmm.
I am looking forward to that. If you want to talk about something where you're going to have a positive reaction to it. And
yeah, a lot of people are excited.
I am. It, in my opinion, is a spiritual successor to Star Trek. It's not trying to be Star Trek, but it is Star Trek.
Yeah, I was talking to Marie of TNTLA today. Had a great talk with her, and she was talking about it too. Just counting the days down. Yeah. So I was never into Orville, so I have to kind of exclude myself here. It just didn't get in yet. It just didn't work out for timing. It just didn't work. I just didn't get in. And now it's one of those things like I have to commit myself to 2 full seasons to get even caught up. And it's hard right now trying to balance doing this and other stuff like that. So I'll get there. I'll get there. I have no aversion to it, folks. Don't hate on me or pull away my fan card quite yet. But
it'll always be available for folks to watch. They don't have to watch it right now.
I don't have Hulu. That's part of the problem. I dumped Hulu because they raised the prices and played around with all the packages and nonsense. And I ditched the Disney money. And yeah, so I'm just kind of on the outside looking in for the moment. I'll eventually figure it out.
Well, hopefully they'll release season 3 on DVD and Blu-ray, because there is one thing they have done, and that is they've released seasons 1 and 2 on DVD. I don't know why they don't release it on Blu-ray. I haven't been able to find an answer to that, but the first 2 seasons are available on DVD, and they're actually not that expensive.
Yeah, Padawannabe. Oh, boy, I butchered that, didn't I? Padawannabe is asking about that. What's it? Can you pull up that comment? I'm not sure I can read what it is. What's the... I know it's on Hulu. I don't know where else it is. I'm sorry.
It's on Hulu, but it's coming out on Thursday, June 2nd, Padawannabe. That's when season 3 starts.
I don't know if it's streaming on any regular television or not, but I do know it's on Hulu.
Not that I'm aware of. As far as I know, whether it's here in the States or international, it's either going to be on Hulu or Disney Plus or Disney Plus affiliate.
Since we transition to something that's good that you're looking forward to, anything else that you're looking forward to or that you've seen lately that's been really, really good? I love having the positive stuff too. I got to have a little bit of that since I have all this hate watching over here. Let me have some good stuff too.
I recently watched the 1983 Google 13 anime.
Okay.
And that was really good. I even said to Brandon, the anime guy, I just watched Google 13 and it's awesome. It is a really good movie.
And you're nodding, so you agree, huh? Yeah.
I really liked it. I watched both Golgo 13 movies, and it was just pretty good. I don't know what to compare it to, but I had a good time, and cool. They're pretty unique movies in their own right. I watched both, the first and second one. It was sort of like James Bond. He's like the Japanese James Bond, in my opinion.
Very cool. Is that on Netflix or something? Where is that easily accessible?
It's a good question.
I found it on Tubi.
Tubi. Hey, listen, Tubi's Beast Mode on Tubi, free Tubi. Isn't it great having some of those apps where it lands for free, like Pluto and Tubi? You're just like, oh, this is like, it's not only like there. That happened to me with somebody. I don't know if it was a show I was watching. They made a reference to a movie, and I'm like, I didn't have it with me digitally. I didn't have a physical copy. I had nothing. And I found it on one of those apps, and it was like almost like winning something. I feel like I'm winning a lottery or something. I not only have it, but it's for free. It's like right here. It's like, yeah. I'm weird that way. Sorry, guys.
No, you're not. You're not weird at all. It is winning. It's winning because you don't have to sign up for another streaming service and pay whatever amount they're asking for.
And they're hard to get out of when you're in. This stupid Peacock thing, guys. Be careful signing up for that nonsense because good luck trying to cancel it. It took me weeks to find. What's going on here? Flying turtle? What am I looking at?
Sorry, I was trying to find this video, but I got my turtle wearing the back of the Orville because I was 3D printing the Orville, and I don't know. I was just I was doing some maintenance I was doing some first aid on my turtle, and I realized, oh, hey, it looks like a starship, but carry on. I didn't mean to disrupt. I wanted to show this during the Orville segment, and while trying to...
Don't apologize. Yeah. I have a stream of consciousness issue with myself too. I'll just start rambling. So if you guys don't put up some bumpers, who knows where I'll drive to. So no, that's funny. Good. Creative minds.
I was gonna be a smart aleck and go turtles in space.
That's awesome.
Just like Mel Brooks.
It's like old Muppet Show with the pigs in space.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Turtles in space. That's awesome. That's
Well, getting on to what you're talking about, like with Tubi and all of these new things, like I have a wall full of VHS tapes behind me in this clip here, and I just think it's wonderful that I can digitize them, or some of them are already available in digital format, so I don't have to, but it's like fantastic that I can store like, where is it, a boatload of, I lost my mouse. Well, it's so cool that we could store a boatload of VHS tapes on like a hard drive or a bunch of hard drives, and it's like I don't have to get off my butt and put a DVD into the machine anymore. It's like it's just there, so it's really fantastic. I just hope that streaming services become a little better. I mean, it's great that I'm glad we got competition like Tubi. You ever hear of Shout Factory TV?
Yes, I was actually recommended that.
Yep, that one's fantastic. I mean, that's how I watched
what's on
Space.
There that you would highly recommend? Something in particular?
Space 1999.
That's good. It's worth making the trip. I will admit I got lazy and like really went digital with a whole lot of my stuff. But then when it started like 4 or 5 years ago, it's like, well, we're gonna change this, and oh, they deleted this scene, and oh, we're gonna do this, and I'm like, so I panicked and really pulled, and I've been pulling back a whole lot of physical copies now. I'm like, okay, listen, this will probably get canceled someday, and I don't want to risk this version getting changed and things like that. So, but I will say, yeah, I agree with you. Like, there's a convenience factor to having some of the apps and having some of the content, and don't get fooled, folks. Like some of the stuff if you buy it, they're not going to take it down. You're going to own that version of it. So the Amazon or Voodoo copy or whatever you end up having, you at least have that copy. I mean, it may not, be ideal for you, but at least it's something to work with.
Very true.
Yeah.
Justice for Star Trek V.
Yes, and Phil McCracken, I have the appropriate response for that comment.
Excuse me, I'd just like to ask a question. What does God need with a starship?
I think I remember that being my favorite scene when I saw that in the theater. I remember thinking to myself, that was the best scene in the whole movie.
There are parts of that movie that I enjoy. Kirk, Bones, and Spock sitting around the campfire. And yes, saying row, row, row your boat. Just their camaraderie, their brotherhood that they have. And then the rest of the movie, well, you can forget it.
Oh, Phil McCracken's in here starting trouble. Is what's happening now.
Yeah. I see this other one. White Sox is the only
Chicago
true
people are really serious.
Chicago town team. Phil, I may have been born in California in the San Diego area and became a Cub fan, but there's one thing I do know is that Chicago is a Cubs town, always has been, and always will be.
Yep, you guys, you're all about it. It's weird in Florida because I work in a city in Tampa, and it's weird having the Rays be successful because it's sort of like it's blended into the conversations that happen, but it's not like a baseball town like you guys are up north and stuff. It's just it's very strange how it's different,
Well, also, I think what hurts the Rays is that they're not actually in Tampa proper. They're in St. Petersburg.
Oh, yeah. I don't want to go down the rabbit hole of having that discussion because that's a huge issue with seeing games. Like, there's a massive issue with going downtown St. Petersburg to see games. Like, it's a nightmare getting in and out of that area down there. Yeah, because you have to remember when they put that stadium, and they've never made any major. I mean, there is an expressway that didn't exist years ago, but it's not that conducive to making it easier for you. I don't know. It's just there's still a big hassle factor with seeing games there. So.
Yeah, it's not convenient.
No, not at all. So, all right. Anything else? I gotta cut short here relatively soon, but I don't want to cut you short by letting you have a chance to squeeze another story or something.
Actually, I do have another story that I'm pulling up right now from Bounding in the Comics, and according to them, they're talking about the 10 best Star Wars villains. Well, it's just my opinion, and somebody can go ahead and disagree with me. That's okay, because I do have the perfect video clip as a response for it. But for me, Darth Vader is number one.
So it's the best villain? Is that what this says? I'm sorry, best villains, right?
10 best villains.
And Vader is not number one? Is that what they're trying? Are you trying to get me to say Vader's not number one? Because that's absurd.
No, I'm just saying for my own rankings, Vader's number one.
The issue for me is going to be Palpatine, because Palpatine is not cool in any way, and yet he's influential in the universe. So, like, what happens in our ranking system in our head of how we evaluate what best means? Because for me, Darth Maul is way higher than he should be because he's only in really one movie. There's only a couple fight scenes. If we stick to movies, then, he dies. But, obviously we have other stuff in the extended universe. Boba Fett, has 4 lines, in a terrible Disney Plus show. So this is a tough list because of the word best. Like, it's hard to define what our terms are going to be. But Vader should be like 1 and 2. Like, Vader should have the whole premise of the whole freaking franchise is based on this guy and his family.
Very true.
Right.
And you mentioned that Vader should be 1 or 2, and I got the perfect clip for that.
I'm like
For
1
anyone
and
who
2. I'm saying 1 and 2. He's so good.
Yeah.
He should be he should. Go ahead.
But if you say he's any lower, well, I think Vader has some words for you.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Absolutely. Have you ever seen the clip of that whenever David Prowse is speaking?
I have.
It's so great. I love that clip. I've saved it. I got to figure out how to edit it down to something that won't get copyright flagged, so I can use it in my show sometime. Being a Kenobi.
Oh gosh, Phil.
Phil, you just keep piling on, man.
Oh man.
All right, so read them off to us. Let's go down this list.
I will, brother. Number 10, according to Found It in the Comics, is Moff Gideon.
Okay, sure, whatever.
All right. And number 9, as soon as this ad goes away, Darth Bane is number 9 according to them.
Okay.
Let's see if I can.
I have no special opinion about a lot of these sort of characters. That's why I really have nothing to add or say. I'm not trying to take away from your thing here. Maul's a little low for me. I'm a big fan of the Maul. I have to be honest. I'm going to admit my bias. I just loved it. I just love that first. The Phantom Menace stuff is also because it fed on my thirst for having Star Wars again. So the double-bladed sword, fighting 2 Jedi at the same time, watching my 2 and 3-year-old become obsessed with Star Wars because of this film. Yeah, special place.
And the thing is, Darth Maul should have been in all 3 of the prequels.
Yeah,
he should have been the major villain.
It would have been great to see it just kind of carry on, and I would have liked to see 4 or 5 Sith. I know that they kind of had this little message they tried to put in there about there just being 2, and I just didn't care for that. I really enjoyed the fact that he was there. It's so interesting. And Obi-Wan easily could have beat him without, throwing him down the shaft or something instead of just cutting him in half. But all right, keep going. Let's see what we got.
All right, number 7, Cad Bane.
Yeah, that's fair. More influential than Maul because of the longevity factor. I got it.
Number 6, the Grand Inquisitor.
I'll lose some of my fan points here. I'm not a big fan of the Inquisitor stuff. I don't care for it nearly as much as other people do, but it's okay. I understand.
I'm like you. I could take it or leave it.
I think it's overrated. It's overrated for me, but I'm willing to admit that, I can see why some people like it.
Number 5, 000.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that either. Really, at all. Like, just don't get this. That'd be way too high.
Yeah.
That should be 10 and rearrange the list. Jabba
Number
the
4,
Hutt.
Jabba the Hutt.
I wouldn't even have thought of putting them on the list in some ways, but I get it now, but way too high. Like, the fact that this is over Maul and Cad Bane are kind of absurd, to be honest.
It is. He should be lower on the list.
Yeah, it's okay that he's like 9 or something. He's on the list, but to be this high is kind of silly. I mean, all right, go ahead.
All right. Number 3, Thrawn.
That's fair. Tarkin. No.
Number 2, Emperor Palpatine.
We left Tarkin off the list? Go ahead.
Number 1, Darth Vader.
We didn't mess the list up totally. How did Tarkin not be on the list?
That's what I don't understand.
And actually, Count Dooku was more influential than some of the other stuff on there.
Mm-hmm. But, Tarkin, he's an imposing figure.
Yeah. Yeah, huge. If you factor in that they put him in, the Rogue One, they created that overlap pretty well for his character arc. I'm not saying that the de-aging of Peter Cushing was good. I'm just trying to say it created a deeper story arc. But yeah, Peter Cushing in New Hope just warrants being on the list. Definitely more than Jabba the Hutt. That's silly.
Oh yeah.
That's just silly. and Cad Bane and Maul being as low as they are over some of the, yeah. Again, these lists, I never quite understand not defining your terms. I'm not a big fan of making these lists, or if I do a list like this, I would want to do it in a video form so I could explain my thought process.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, what does best mean when I put the list together? Because we can have all sorts of different reasons on why we would select certain things.
Yeah, or have a live panel show where all the panelists will give their reason why they rank certain villains in a particular order over another.
True. Like looking at the list now, I would definitely even be able to make a better case for Maul, because there's just not a lot of competition that we're. Because my best would be more like, interesting, dynamic, formidable, things of this nature. Whereas Jabba the Hutt is more like integral into the story and the plot, but not really on the list. Like, it's just a different type of criteria, I guess. So, it's interesting. I had the same issue. I think I did a whole video, and then the had folks come in the stream, and then we ended up talking about it a second time, because they did the best lightsaber fights on I think it was sci-fi.com or something. They did two full videos on their criteria, their horrible lists of the best lightsaber battles and stuff, because it was just, you don't define the terms. No one understands what you're saying. But I will say, at least they kept Vader at the top. They didn't completely mess up, make us lose credibility.
No, but to leave Tarkin off the list.
Yeah, that's the first one that comes to mind. I guess if I kind of think on this hard, I mean, look, I'm no fan of the sequels, but even Kylo Ren makes more sense than. I just lost my old man brain just farted out on me. Who was number 4 or 5? What was the one that? Jeez, starts with a T.
I can go back to it.
I just forgot what the one was.
One second, let me pull it back up, and
it's not that big. It's not that important anyway. But my point is, it just Kylo Ren is it'd make an easier argument to put Kylo Ren on that list, because at least he impacted an entire series of 3 movies in their universe, and look, I'm not a fan, but at least it's an easier case to make than some of the other characters on the list. Boba Fett was on the list. Boba Fett was on the list, was he?
He wasn't on the list.
How? What the heck? Okay. I got to take at least part of their fan card away if they didn't include Boba Fett. I don't care about the Disney Plus show or not. You can't exclude Boba Fett. Literally the only character that speaks back to Vader and lives to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's why I hated the Boba Fett show, because it makes no freaking sense. I just couldn't stand. My head just hurt so much from this show. I'm like, he just talked to Boba Fett, back to Darth Vader like 2 seconds ago, and then you guys have him die in a Sarlacc pit, climb out for no reason to live with sand people. Like, what the heck are you people doing? And then he doesn't make this guy's list. Shame on you, whoever you wrote that list. Shame on you. May the ghost of Tarkin haunt you forever.
I mean, you look at it this way too. If Boba Fett's able to talk back to Vader and not get force choked, then that says something about Boba Fett.
Yeah, I mean, didn't we as kids? And I'm not sure everybody's age here, and I'll speak for everybody in chat. But as me as a little kid, man, I wanted to see Boba Fett and Vader fight, man. I wanted to see them start throwing down, man. I wanted to see it go. I wanted to see it go, and it was. And Boba Fett was so cool because he was mysterious. So cool. Yeah.
And Pat Wannabe says, if it's just the movies, I have a certain 10. If it's everything visual, I'll have a different 10. If it's everything in the EU that Star Wars has made, I'll even have a different 10. So
correct.
A different list for every media.
Yeah, whatever the criteria are, you have to kind of I don't know that I consider the stuff in Rebels is impactful for me. They're fine. I'm not trying to dog on this kind of stuff and all the extended stuff like that, but I'm not going to compare that to the impact of the major motion pictures, especially the original trilogy, and then even the sequel trilogy, the prequel trilogy. Like Darth Maul and Darth Vader carry 6 movies basically, and then you have Count Dooku, and even General Grievous was pretty freaking cool, man. He was formidable. I mean, I don't know. We didn't include clone troopers or stormtroopers even. I mean, they're as much of a villain as Jabba the Hutt is in a lot of ways.
Especially once Order 66 came to be.
Yeah. But this is the fun stuff, like hanging out at the comic shop, talking goofy, nerdy stuff with the friends, and having arguments and debates and whatever. So, justice for Judy Cast. So, all right, guys. Well, I think with that, I'll bail out and try to work in a nap so I go back to my day job.
All right.
When's Baron going to be live? Is he already live? All right,
Baron's going to be live in about 9 minutes.
Oh, all right. I mean, I don't know if I can hang for. I feel bad popping in for like 10 or 15 minutes. I don't know that I feel like doing that. So maybe I'll have to catch him another time. But
tonight he's going to have Nerdporial Lifeform on, and
I know, so good, so good. I got to get with him and figure out a way to stream or do something. We got to keep coordinating these things. And I appreciate you guys saying that stuff earlier, man. We got to watch each other's stuff. You got to get in there. You got to like. You got to comment. You got to pump those like buttons. You got to play the algorithm game, man. It's what you're doing. You got to stick around long. I got people who are doing gaming stuff. I don't game. I just don't do it. It's okay. But you know what? I don't care. Go in there, pop in a little plus, give them a little something. That's how it all works. That's how it all works. And hate that that's the game, but you got to play the game. So.
And that's why you see me on Twitter sharing out the streams, because I want people to see what I'm seeing, because I'm enjoying it, and I know other people will.
Yeah, we're all we got. I got to be honest. We're all we got. The fandom has to stay strong, encourage one another, not be biting each other and stuff, whatever. Like I said, it's the one giant, I call it my comic shop, but you know how, I don't know if you're old enough to remember that early 90s comic shop where it was basically cards, comics, games. Perfect. Cards, comics, games, figures, VHS that are rare, old, it would be all of that in one room. Well, this giant place, whatever you can sell to pay the rent. That's how I look at this giant fandom. It's this giant fandom shop. We all can come in here. We can spew our stuff, talk about stuff, blah, 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 boom. Because the media can't stand that we even exist. They hate us. Like half the stuff that they're doing is just out of spite. Because if you don't believe that, watch Halo. Halo is literally a spite show. I tell you what, I told Ironcaster I wouldn't even remember these characters' names. Actually, I don't remember most of these characters' names. I remember the nicknames that we've given them, because they're completely empty shells of characters, and it's a spite thing. We have to be strong with one another and respect each other's differences of opinions, and stuff that we're into, and learning stuff that didn't know I could go over to. Give me that app again. You recommended that app. Let me write that down, because I'm going to forget. It's too late for me.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and put it in the private chat. I'm just going to go to my favorites and get to it.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. And with that, thanks again to you guys for having me hop in here, keeping your open mic, Pacific. I appreciate it.
Anytime.
Hail to all you guys in the chat. Thank you, my brother, with some recommendation. I appreciated that. That was cool. I enjoyed watching the Top Gun game. That was kind of retro. I liked that a lot. That was kind of fun. So,
1 second as I grab the link for Tubi, and I'm placing it in the private chat now.
Got it. Oh, I can get it there. Yeah. Cool. Very cool. All right, guys. Thanks again. You guys have a good night. Talk to you soon.
You have a great night, brother.
See you, man.
Well, with that, I'm going to begin dinner, and I'm going to tune into Mr. Barron's show, which I wanted to just real quick say. The first time I met Barron was when the Nerdporial Lifeform did a stream about Star Wars Shadows of the Empire, and he reminded me of the owner of the comic book store. I used to go to a place called Comic Attitudes, and the guy who owned the store, he vaguely reminds me of Barron. Not a lot, just a little bit, but with that, I'm going to bid you guys adieu. But yeah, so anything else you want to cover before you tune out?
I was actually going to cover one more story, and it was the main story with David Tennant and Catherine Tate coming back to Doctor Who.
Oh, okay.
For the 60th anniversary.
Cool.
And what I'll also do is, after the show is, I will get the link to your channel, and I will put it down in the description. I'll get the link for Pop's channel, and I'll put it down in the description. So anybody who wishes to subscribe to them, look for their links in the description after the show is over. And let's go ahead and get on with this last story of the night here. One second as I pull it up. All right. Our last story here comes from Superhero Hype, and it says David Tennant and Catherine Tate will return to Doctor Who. This article was posted on Sunday, and it's by Luke Thompson. It goes on to say, this must be what all those rumors were about. Earlier in the year, some sources became convinced that David Tennant would once again become the full-time Doctor after Jodie Whittaker's tenure ends. That's obviously not the case, but he and Catherine Tate will return to Doctor Who for the 60th anniversary episode, the BBC confirms. It says, long before Spider-Man No Way Home, Doctor Who made it a tradition for previous incarnations of the Doctor to team up for anniversary specials, beginning with the 3 Doctors for the 10th anniversary and the 5 Doctors for the 20th anniversary. Actor morality and a multi-year hiatus kept the number from expanding beyond that, but Tennant and Matt Smith teamed up for the 50th, along with a cameo from Tom Baker. It goes on to say, it may take some heavy plot lifting to explain Tate's return as Donna Noble, since the Doctor wiped himself from her memories to save her life. Any memory of her time in the TARDIS could be fatal, but by way of explanation, returning showrunner Russell T Davies will only say maybe this is a missing story or a parallel world or a dream or a trick or a flashback. The only thing I can confirm is that it's going to be spectacular, as 2 of our greatest stars reunite for the battle of a lifetime. A parallel universe version of Tennant's Doctor left to be with Rose Tyler, so that's always a possibility to revisit. Tennant and Tate are currently filming for the episode to air in 2023. What do you think about these returns? Well, I understand why they're bringing back David Tennant and Catherine Tate for the 60th anniversary, but I also believe, in my humble opinion, that they're also doing this to try to win back the favor of the fans who left the series, with Jodie Whittaker being a part of it, and Chris Chibnall being the executive producer and creative during Jodie Whittaker's run, and what's happened with Doctor Who since. That's just my opinion. Will it be good? I don't know. We'll have to check it out when it becomes available next year. Will I watch it? Again, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see when the time comes. What do you think, DJ Ronnie G? You're muted, brother.
Oh, wow, that's why I wasn't heard before. Anyway, but I haven't seen a whole lot of Doctor Who. I've seen a little bit of it. Some of it seemed interesting. Some of the backstory was kind of cool, but from where I'm sitting from a far away distance, those Daleks just don't do it for me. And I mean, I gotta sit down and give it a chance, because I don't know, like, judging a book by its cover, I'm not super enthusiastic on the whole. But what you were saying was they're trying to garner favor of the existing fans, and yeah, that would match the modus operandi, just like when Star Trek Picard came out and they were like, this is going to be in the prime timeline, and it was like in the prime timeline if we take J.J. Abrams' time travel meddling into account.
Yep. So again, I'm just being cautious. I'm not going to get too overhyped about it. I want to see a trailer once there's a trailer available. That's just the way I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah.
Can't get too excited about something that I haven't seen yet. None of us have seen it yet.
This is true. It's fair to give it some kind of a chance. Give them an opportunity to release a trailer and even maybe watch, a couple of episodes when it comes out. But oftentimes you can get an idea of the direction it's going to take based on a trailer.
Yep. And the thing about trailers nowadays, and I've even discussed this with Nerdtorial, they reveal too much in trailers nowadays.
This is true.
Leave some mystery for your movie. Leave us wanting something. And instead, they want to show us everything.
I mean, that's when you don't have good storytelling. It's like they don't know how to put a trailer together without revealing the plot.
Absolutely. All right, I'm gonna do one more thing. Let me see. All right, thank you, brother. I was just about to put your link in there, and you already provided it to me. Thank you very much, brother.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Thank you.
And with that being said, I want to thank everybody who stopped by tonight's Pacific 414 Pop Talk. Greatly appreciate it. I also want to make an announcement that next Wednesday, being the official 45th anniversary of Star Wars, I will be having a special Star Wars themed episode of Pacific 414 Pop Talk. Everyone is welcome to come on to the panel. And if you do want to come on to the panel, send me a DM and I will make sure I send you the link. But again, just like in previous episodes of Pop Talk, everybody's welcome. And we could talk about the original Star Wars, the impact it made on us, whether we actually got to see it in the theater or we saw it on VHS when it came out on VHS or saw it on TV when it first aired on TV. Let's just celebrate the first Star Wars movie in style. So
I'm in. Yeah, I mean, I would look forward to watching it and potentially participating in it. And I got some, I definitely, I'll have a mouthful for that one.
Awesome. Can't wait, brother. So, with that being said, I do want to let everybody know that the links, they will be down in the description, but if you haven't subscribed to DJ Ronnie G or Pops, please subscribe to them. Just like with Nerdtorial and Baron, subscribe to them. They're great content creators, and we need to give each other support. The only way anyone can grow is by word of mouth. And the way we spread word of mouth in this day and age is on social media. So like, share, comment, and let people know that you're watching great content creators. And I want to say thank you to Phil McCracken for stopping by. Thank you very much, brother. I know we give each other a hard time, but that's also part of the community. You develop friendships and you have fun with one another. The Padawannabe, thank you very much for stopping by. And DJ Ronnie G, thank you, brother. I want to thank Pops. Thank you very much. I want to thank the lovely Leia Rose for stopping by. Thank you, Leia. I also want to thank the Nerdtorial Lifeform. As a matter of fact, one more time, I will go ahead and put the link to Baron's channel, because right now you can catch the Nerdtorial Lifeform on Baron After Dark. So tell them Mike sent you. Tell them it's a Pacific 414 raid. And let's see. I also want to thank Spock's Friday Nights. Thank you very much, Spock, for stopping by. I also want to thank Matt from Channel 66 for stopping by. Thank you, brother. And I also believe that everybody except for TKO, who was on earlier. So let me go ahead and put in his link, and you can follow him over on his channel. So thank you all so very much. Have yourself a great day. Let's go raid Baron Armentog, and have a great night.
Let's do it.